Hi all, it's Kristin Oropeza again, Education Marketing and Community Coordinator here at Common Sense Education. We're back for another episode of Back to School, beginning of the year, tips and tricks as you get started in your classrooms this fall. Today I have Jennifer Ehehalt, Senior Education Manager, back here with me. Jennifer, good morning. How's it going?
Hi, Kristen.
Are you getting excited for back to school yet?
I am. I mean, it is definitely the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. It is. And we're so lucky to work at this organization, right? That does so much for educators, you know, at any point of the school year, but especially I think at back to school. And as we get started and teachers get started in the classroom, one of the big themes that we've been talking about this year in education is this idea of digital wellness, right? In the classroom, we know students are getting inundated with access to devices both in school and at home. Mental health has been brought up as a concern, too much device time. And I think we're cognizant and teachers are getting, directives to make sure that they're being a little bit more reflective of their teaching practice in the classroom as it relates to digital wellness. And I want to know, like, as teachers are thinking about that, especially early on in the school year, what do we have to offer them that they might be able to pull into their classroom as it relates to digital well-being and wellness?
Well, I'm excited to introduce, if you don't already know, our digital well-being lesson collection. It's probably one of my most favorite of lesson collections that we have. I can tell you from experience, it has been the most well received based on the audience I have presented to over the course of the last semester, summer and last semester with administrators, professional learning coaches, tech coaches, educators, even students and families. So I've done the gamut with all audiences on this collection, and I learn something new every time. So this is the collection. There's 14 lessons in the collection. We also have pacing guides available because these can tend to be around 45 minutes long. And so we break it out into days if that's how you'd have to execute these lessons. One I want to think about or showcase for you is the My Values in Tech, which is available at the middle school and at the high school. And this part of the lesson is a really good start, I think, to the school year. So you can see here, our lessons are all turnkey. There's slides, there's posters. But what I like about this at the beginning of the year is you can think about the values, whether they're personal values to you or personal classroom values. And what does that look like in taking students through these values? And I keep talking about these values and you're like, Jennifer, what are these values, right? We partnered with the Center for Digital Thriving out of the Harvard School of Education, and we did tons of research around this. And so just so you know that we didn't just pull these values out of the sky. There's meaning behind these values, but the idea is to get you, as your educator, as an administrator, to get your students, right, and your classroom cultures to think about these values and how do they play a role in the media and technology that we use. And then you take it to that next step and you think about, okay, so the way in which we use media and technology, does it help these values? Does it, increase like learning? Does it, add value to the things that you're doing? Or is the use of this maybe hindering it, right? And it's not such a good use of time and energy. So getting students and yourselves to kind of think about how these values fit into our media use and technology, I think is a great way to kind of think about the culture that you want to set in your classroom and refer to. And this is another one that's neat to kind of revisit after so long. You set some different expectations up. Maybe before winter break or at the end of the year, you can think about, what did we do well? What would you like to change or make better habits around? And so there's a lot of great conversation that can happen around the simplicity of just the values in tech. And the lesson collection goes on to media balance and well-being, pausing for people. We talk about digital distractions, right? So all those little things that are going to pop up in our classrooms and more than likely become those teachable moments. We hope that this lesson collection can be a turnkey way to showcase either a video, maybe ask essential question, get students to maybe create or journal or, talk with their peers around some of these dilemmas that we sometimes have to face and figure out how to navigate. So I think this is a great start for anybody who's teaching in classrooms with devices.
Right. I love our collections, and I know we've said it before. All of our lessons, come with slides. They come with scripts, but to the point where it's completely customizable to the teacher, right? And to the needs of your individual classroom. Because as educators, we know that our classrooms and the dynamics of our classroom change from one year to the next. And so, a lesson I did last year maybe won't be applicable this year, So I love that teachers can go into these lessons. Yes, it's a 45-minute lesson, but I can break that down over a series of days and do individual components of that lesson with my students. And it
Absolutely.
It makes it a little bit more digestible for kids because, right? I know we as teachers get overwhelmed with seeing, a 45-minute lesson. I can only imagine what it
Of
looks like
course
for a
we do.
student.
The phasing guide is really, really well outlined, so it
Yes.
makes it easy for you. And if you're a decision maker or you lead PD or an administrator for your back to school, duties, this is also a really great activity to do with staff. It
Yeah.
really gets them thinking and talking and deciding how they want tech to look both in their classrooms and in their personal life. So it's just a nice way to build camaraderie and talk about all the things that we do and showcase that we're not alone.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
good
love
stuff.
this. Thank you. Well, we're excited for back to school. Jennifer, where can these lessons be found?
So we have a back to school landing page at commonsense.org/education/back to school with the hyphens. And you'll be able to access all of the links that we've talked about here and download them and, make copies of the templates that we talked about. And so everything you need will be found there. So hopefully this is one more check we can put in one of your boxes on your list.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for being here, for showcasing our resources. We're excited, and we wish educators everywhere a happy back to school. Bye.
Bye.